bringing metal to the masses. OnslaughtRadio.com.
This is Onslaught Radio. I'm backstage at the O2 Academy in Islington, and I'm talking to Ashmedi, who is from the band Melechesh. Hiya.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good, thank you. How's the tour going so far?
It's perfect. We played many countries. We've been at it for 3 weeks already. I think we got a couple of weeks more. And the turnout is great. The response is very good. So, yeah, we can't ask for more.
And how does it feel to be in the UK?
Yeah, finally. It feels good. On the one hand, I can understand everything. Everything is like in English. So I feel like I have better eyesight because every other country I can't read the signs and stuff. And I've been living 12 years in Holland. By now I speak Dutch. But still, it's refreshing when I see all the little instructions in English. So I'm always reading everything. But it feels good. The crowd is really good. It's our first time here. And the response has been phenomenal so far. We shall see how it is in London.
London's always pretty good to play, but have you noticed that there's a massive difference between sort of the fans in the UK and other fans that you've seen across the world?
Well, not really. I mean, to be honest, I didn't know what to expect. And sometimes you play in certain countries, the fans tend to watch more than participate. In some countries, they just go crazy. However, our experiences, when we played the UK, the crowds were very responsive and loud. So that was really cool, you know.
And is there anywhere that you haven't performed yet that you'd really like to?
Oh, yeah, there's plenty of places. For some reason, we haven't gone to South America, and I'd love to go there. And, you know, I'd like to play more in the Middle East, which is still not so possible at the moment. Depends where.
And obviously, you're supporting Nile this evening. What other bands have you supported so far?
We've toured with Melechesh and other bands. We just did a headlining tour right before this one. We'll be going with Rod and Christ in a few weeks to the States. It's a 5-week tour. And, yeah, we played loads of festivals with other bands and stuff. So we try to go with bands that we like and we feel there's some connection somehow.
And obviously your album was released last year. What have you got planned for this year?
Besides the 10 weeks of touring, we got some festivals lined up. So yeah, we did a video clip a few weeks ago, and we went to Istanbul. We did that. So it should be out pretty soon. And after that, I mean, I guess we're going to just start writing new material as soon as I get a bit settled down.
And where do you get your influence from for your songs?
It's a complicated formula. I mean, it comes from within me, but I'm very interested in Middle Eastern, Near Eastern mysticism, the various cultures there, be it the Kabbalah, Sufism, and above all the Sumerian, Mesopotamian mythology. However, I kind of put my own twist to it and not just repeat the myths or whatever. So, yeah, that's a source of inspiration, but that's a big source of inspiration. Don't forget, it's a cradle of civilization there, so there's no shortage of inspiring themes and ideas.
Obviously, the band originally comes from Jerusalem.
Yeah.
Most metal bands seem to come from Germany and England and America. Is it more difficult to break into the scene coming from somewhere that isn't classed as traditionally producing metal?
Oh, that's a really good question. And yeah, it is. It was a mammoth task for us to get recognition. I don't want to sound sore. I'm very grateful for everything. We got a great fan base, great record deals, 5 albums out. And however, sorry, in the beginning, people wanted to sign bands that sung about evil things, yet were from a more privileged demographic background or demographic area. However, we were actually from the place where people sung against like a holy city or something. So we, in a way, practiced what we preached, but it didn't sink in with many people at first, until some visionaries discovered us and released our albums. And I owe it a lot to them for that. We had to reinvent the wheel. So we decided to develop our own version of extreme metal. And if you want that version of metal, you know, you got to listen to us. So in a way, it made us a better band, I guess. And finally, the recognition came, yeah.
And if there are any unsigned bands out there that are finding themselves in the same sort of position as you, what kind of advice would you give to them?
This is, yeah, it's a tough one because there's a lot of great unsigned bands in South America, in the Middle East, in Asia, and Eastern Europe. In Turkey, for example, great unsigned bands there. The advice I tell them is, don't do the music of the bands you like. Just be yourself and do your own music. Offer something that no one else could offer. Musical credibility comes first. And on top of that, try to have accessibility to the Western world. Because with all the visa restrictions, with all the governmental restrictions, with all the societal restrictions, it is difficult. But there are a lot of dreamers out there, and that's a good thing.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much. Have a great evening this evening and for the rest of the tour.
All right. Thank you very much for the interview.